Tower American 95, 10 miles out on the ILS.
American 95, Kennedy Tower, following Airbus 319 ahead, 1050.
Hello everybody, welcome to San Jose, California, aboard our Consolidated Pby Catalina and California Water Bomber livery. Aw, it's so... ugly would be the word I would come up with. Ugly. That would be a good word for this thing. Let's see if it opens up before we take off, because we're probably going to land on water. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's actually really nice. Look at that. So you got the doors and those doors. Right. The only thing that could be added is like stairs to get down, but you know, that's still pretty darn nice. All right, let's get in our plane here. It's very quiet inside, so we're probably gonna do a lot of outside flying, but let's look at our gauges really quick. Looks good to me. I like having my little views up top. Oh, look at my big spinning blade. Ah, spinning blade of death. Okay, let's okay, there's that. Where would you believe my... Oh, never mind, we'll find out later. Alright, let's take to the skies. Let's run up our two Pratt & Whitney R1830-92 Twin Wasp radial engines, 1200 horsepower each. I'll also drop some flap. Or not, because I don't have any. Okay, cool. Do I really not have any flap on this plane? I really don't. I'm also deviating. There's a car on the runway! We're gonna die. Oh, this plane pulls hard left there. Alright, we're back on the runway. We're good. Oh, good grief, we're already in the air. Okay, so... Hold on, well, I try to figure out... There we go. I was like, which button manages my wheels? Look at that. Perfect fold up there. Nice. Alright. The Consolidated Pby Catalina. It's a flying boat, later an amphibious aircraft of the 30s and 40s, produced by Consolidated Aircraft Company. One of the most widely used seaplanes of World War II, served with every branch of the United States Armed Forces and in the air forces and navies of many other nations. Now, when I say flying boat, later an amphibious aircraft, some of you might go, yeah, it's the same thing. But it's not. So a flying boat has no wheels. By definition, it's a flying boat. An amphibious aircraft is what we fly right now because it has wheels, so it can be both land and water. Small difference. Actually, it's a large difference, but let's make sure there's no mountains here because we are. There we go. All right, we're good. We're gonna head for the water because we're a flying boat. No, we're not. We're an amphibious aircraft. During World War II, PBYs were used in anti-submarine warfare, patrol bombing, convoy escort, search and rescue missions, especially air-sea rescue and cargo transport. It's one of the most numerous aircraft of its kind, and the last active military PBY was not retired from service until the 1980s. In 2014, nearly 80 years after the first flight, this aircraft continues to fly as a water bomber. In fact, it's still today, in 2015, flying as a water bomber or air tanker in aerial firefighting operations all over the world. Now, this designation of PBY, where does that come from? Well, PB... Well, first, it comes from the Navy Code Aircraft Designation System of 1922. So PB is patrol bomber, and Y is the code assigned to Consolidated Aircraft as its manufacturer. So at the time, you were given your type and then your manufacturer code. So you'd have PBY. The Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress only became the B-17 on the Air Force side. On the Navy side, it had a different designation. Yes, it did serve in the Navy. I had a different designation to denote that it was a Boeing bomber. So I believe it was like BB-17. And people just shortened it, I guess. It was originally designed to be a patrol bomber with long range, intended to locate and attack enemy transport ships at sea in order to disrupt enemy supply lines. With the mind to a potential conflict in the Pacific, where troops would require resupply over great distances. The Navy invested millions of dollars in long-range flying boats for this purpose. Of course, flying boats don't require runways, they just require water, which, if you've looked at a map, is pretty ample in the Pacific. Now, this aircraft is slow and ungainly. and kind of strange looking in many respects. But they distinguished themselves in World War II. They had huge variety of roles that they were never intended for. Now, they're especially known in their role of rescuing downed airmen. They saved the lives of thousands of aircrew that were downed over the water. Cat aircrew called the aircraft the Cat on combat missions, and Dumbo in air-sea rescue service. There's a beautiful painting of these aircrafts during a rescue mission. I wish I could show it to you, but I can't because it is copyrighted, but you can probably find it. Around 3,300 of these aircraft were built, and they were operated with nearly all operational theaters in World War II. They're most extensively used anti-submarine warcraft in both the Atlantic and the Pacific theaters. They were also used in the Indian Ocean, flying from the Seychelles and from Ceylon, and their duties included escorting convoys to Murmansk. In addition, during all of that, Catalina's destroyed 40 U-boats. Now, where are we in relation to that water I saw? We're getting close, but we're going up. I really kind of want to go down. Now, in their role as patrol aircraft, the Catalinas participated in some of the most notable naval engagements of World War II. The aircraft's parasol wing and large waist blisters, which you don't see here because we're flying a civilian model, so there's no waist blisters, but there are waist blisters on the military version, provided excellent visibility, and combined with its long-range endurance, made it well-suited for the task of a patrol aircraft. Now, one of the most famous rescues that this aircraft participated in was when a PBY piloted by Lieutenant Commander Adrian Marks rescued 56 sailors in the high seas from the heavy cruiser Indianapolis after the ship was sunk during World War II. There's a huge story behind the Indianapolis. You can certainly go look that up if you don't know about it, but it was very important. Well, not important. It was tragic, really. When there was no more room inside the PBY, the crew tied sailors to the wings. Now, this was not necessarily unusual. There is another painting, a beautiful painting of a kingfisher, with the pilots literally just gripped onto the wings as the plane fast taxied across the water to get to a waiting boat or submarine to get the people out of there. So it wasn't unusual to just put the guys on the wings, tie them on, and fast taxi the aircraft. Now, at the end of the war, all the flying boat versions were retired, but the amphibious version remained for several years. The last Catalina in U.S. service was PBY-6A, operated by Naval Reserve Squadron, which was retired from use on 3 January 1957. Now, very famous, Jacques-Yves Cousteau used a PBY-6A registered number N101CS to support his diving expedition. His second son, Philippe, was killed in an accident in this aircraft that occurred on the Tagus River near Lisbon. I actually had a model of this aircraft. I never actually built it. I ended up selling the model because I needed more room. Didn't want to build any more models. But it was a beautiful model of a PBY. Now, the crew aboard this aircraft would be 10. Maximum speed would be 196 miles an hour. That's 314 kilometers an hour. Range was 2,520 miles. That's 4,030 kilometers. And in her military outfit, she would have 3 .30 caliber machine guns, 2 in the nose turret, 1 in the ventral hatch at the tail, and 2 50 caliber machine guns, 1 in each waist blister. And she could carry 4,000 pounds of bombs, depth charges, and torpedoes on torpedo racks. Quite the plane. All right, so we're back inside. We're heading towards a gentle landing there in the sea. So let's hit our numbers. So shift 1 centers our view. Cool. 2, that's autopilot. 3, there's our throttle and prop and mixture. 4 gives us, there's our radio. There's some old radios there. 5, there's a modern GPS. 6 is a manifold pressure. 7, that's it. Okay, so what did this button do? Panel lights. Is this all panel lights? De-ice. Exterior lights, landing lights. Okay. Now what I'm looking for is how do I drop my outriggers? Because this plane has outriggers. Where would those be? Because you wouldn't actually land this plane It's landing gear lever. You'd think it'd be by that. No. So you wouldn't actually land this plane without deploying the sponsons out there, because they're going to keep the plane from tipping into the water. But I don't seem to find a way to do that. Let's see. Max the flaps, maybe? No. That's changing the view. That's great. Okay. Ah! Air brake. That's what it is. No, put those wheels back. Air brake drops those sponsons. Very good. Ooh, hello. So the air brake is actually the sponsons. That's a good thing to know. There we are, and we have settled ourselves down in our beautiful Pby Catalina Consolidated. Nice looking aircraft, very nice looking. Now that we know how to get our sponsons out. All right, the link to this aircraft is in the description. Hey boat, how's it going? Boat. Okay. Link to this aircraft is in the description as always. I've been DerTebbers. This has been your Flight Simulator Explained Spotlight, the Consolidated Pby Catalina. Till next time, happy flying, everybody.
Over 1283 Kennedy Tower, greetings. Falling heavy Boeing 767 touching down. Caution wake turbulence from 05012, number 2, 4 right, set left.
Going in 4 right, 1283, copy all.
8 Lima Bravo, traffic just north of the airport, opposite direction along the track routing. A helicopter not under defeat, DSU in sight.